An unexpected find in the Rocky Mountains. If you've ever been off-roading in southern Colorado, you know those mountain trails are peppered with old abandoned mines. And when I think of mines, I think of gold and diamonds and rubies and gems. One gem you would never expect to find in the Rocky Mountains, and that's vintage military Jeeps. Nestled between the Sangre de Cristo Mountains and the San Juan Mountains is a museum, a private collection of vintage Jeeps and old military Jeeps. Meet Terry Gillette.
Kind of that wrecker thing on the back, but...
Is this a Jeep?
Yeah.
Oh, this is kind of like the...
It's a 47.
1947.
Yeah.
And what did Jeep use this for?
Well, this would have been a farm truck.
A farm
by
truck?
and large. Or it could have been on a mine, ranch. I mean, they used them for everything out here. This was right after the war when people were just getting the feel for four-wheel drive.
Right.
And winches. And they all had come from hard labor backgrounds in the mountains and ranches and whatever. Said, oh yeah, we need this. And so Jeep actually, or Willys, they retooled everything for agricultural purposes.
Right.
That's why you see all the civilian Jeeps, the old ones, they all have a drawbar. That was, they could hook the old plows and discs right up to it, use it like a tractor.
Jeep truck?
Well, it's a Willys half-ton pickup
Willys
truck.
half-ton. Willis. How to pronounce Willys?
This is America, woman. You can say it however you want.
Right, exactly.
A little piece of trivia, if you drive downtown, well, I've got a picture inside too. There was a Willis Overland dealer in Saguache in about 1913.
Wow.
And along with Willis was Willis and Harley Davidson.
Oh
Can you imagine having a Harley dealership out here in the middle of nowhere 100 years ago?
So when you were in the Army, did you guys call them Willys Jeeps?
We call them Hummers.
Hummers?
The only Willys, really everybody calls them a Jeep.
Right.
Because you'll get people to argue over what that means. You know, there was the Jeep, the mythical Popeye character that just showed up everywhere. Well, that was what Jeeps were. I mean, they would just get them in the darndest places. And then there was a military acronym for general equipment vehicle, and then there was some other stuff too. But,
okay, what's the next one?
Boy, you know what the next one is. Well, this one was originally kind of upgraded. They kind of tried to get some beefed up stuff to the system so they could use it on the Rubicon, but it didn't quite get everything it needed.
No.
It was a rush job. Note to self, don't rush it. You know, to fit in with the lineup, we had to have some kind of a military theme, so we put civil defense decals on it.
There you go.
Because guess what? They had a lot of yellow Jeeps for civil defense. And they would have used CJ5s. So this whole front end was on it when I got it. I think those were even the tires it came with. Of course, the problem I run into right away is I have this granddaughter. Well, it's a yellow Jeep. So she thinks it's a Transformer, and it's hers.
Right, of course it's hers. And this one, the U.S. Coast Guard had Jeeps?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, the big thing that people don't realize is a lot of these other branches of the military, the Coast Guard, the Navy, Air Force, you know, coming out of the war, they were using leftover stuff from World War II, but they were really short. So it was real common for especially the Coast Guard to use local purchase stuff. They couldn't get it, they need it, they buy it from a dealership in town. Now this one, if you look at it, it's not the right top on there, that's another project. This is the CJ6, which is a longer frame.
Okay, yep.
And I've seen pictures of where the Coast Guard has actually modified the World War II Jeeps, stretched them out, because they were using them like a little troop transport to get guys down to the beach and get them onto the ship.
So this is probably the first Jeep stretch, possibly.
Well, no, this is done by the factory.
Oh, the factory did this.
Yep. The key tell there is this. This is your distance longer. This is over a regular CJ5. But this insert, that was done at the factory. It wasn't done civilianized. Now, the military did, but they took that military concept and it's like, yeah, we can do that.
So the Jeep factory, or Willis, or whoever had it at the time.
Jeep.
It was Jeep.
Yep. Would have been your mid-60s kind of stuff.
Okay.
Late 50s, early 60s.
Added this.
Yep.
Jeep stretch.
It's kind of like your CJ10s and the other truck stuff that came along
Right.
later.
So this is project 1 of 500.
I hope I'm not supposed to keep count.
No, because you lost count.
Yeah, it's more fun that way. It's kind of like guns and everything else.
Right.
We're not doing a business. I don't have to account for it.
Right. Those are just 3 of Terry's Jeeps. Terry's museum, the Jeep Rescue League, is in Saguache, Colorado, along Highway 285. Hey, what's your favorite vintage Jeep? Comment below. Stay tuned to Jeep Life with Jeep Mama, because coming up in the next video, Terry's going to share some tips with you on how to tell the difference between a military Jeep versus a civilian Jeep. For more Jeep Life with Jeep Mama, head over to my blog at jeepmama.com.